Hey y'all, Blaumagier here, and we're back with another session of Grounded. I am joined with my good friend, not a Buttface.
Hello everyone, it's me, not a Buttface. I'm here.
So, something interesting happened between the last session and this session. Grounded has been updated to the fully Yoked edition, which is, I believe, patch 1.4, as it says in the top right corner there. As you can see, they've added Ant Queens. It says mix it up with Remixer. That is a New Game Plus mode that I do want to explore before we call this series finished.
Do you really want to play this a second time?
Well, it's not like most New Game Pluses where you're literally just playing the same game again, but now you're ultra strong from the start. They do actually have new stuff in the New Game Plus.
Like, I'm surprised that this has like a story mode that we're following. It's not just like a randomly generated yard. So I don't know if doing it like round 2 would be that entertaining.
We also have new items added to the ASL. And I believe there's more equipments, other stuff like that. And also there is a springtime limited event. I do not know if we will be able to take advantage of this. I assume it's going to go away at the end of April. It's currently April 20th. So...
Just plays!
Yeah, we're only going to get like one more session in before I assume this event will end. But that's fine. To my knowledge, all it is there are Easter eggs that will spawn in place of human food on the map. And you collect these eggs and you can buy special items from Burgle's shop. We will hopefully see what those are. I think human food requires a tier 2X to destroy, which we do not have yet. But, yeah, the only other thing to note about the fully Yoked edition is they sadly said that this will be the final content update. Any future patches will just be maintenance, fixing bugs and whatnot. Anyway, let's get into the game. Buttface is now aware of the name of the world.
I'm trying to load into the world.
I haven't loaded it up yet.
Oh, that would be why. Well, you know my opinion on Easter eggs. I put out a dumb long video for April 1st about Easter eggs. I can take it or leave it in a game.
I'm gonna be honest. All of that philosophical mumbo jumbo horse crap goes right over my head. My cousin, whom I love dearly, is my best friend. He is like big into being a Buddhist and having philosophical discussions that go extremely deep. And I have to tell him, just look, dude, I love you, but none of this makes any sense to me.
I'm just a simple girl who likes it plain, all right? Host is loading. Save.
Yeah, after we get done recording, I have to go play Splatoon.
Why does this sound familiar?
Because I've been playing...
Feels like you're always playing Splatoon.
I've been playing it for 2 years now, almost.
Gotta platinum your battle pass.
They don't do battle passes.
I don't know. I assume every multiplayer shooter these days has a battle pass. Friggin' the
Okay, the good thing about
the Smash
Splatoon,
Bros. Clones have battle passes at this point.
The good thing about Splatoon is all of their content added to the multiplayer is totally free. You do have to pay for Nintendo Switch Online to play multiplayer.
That's been standard since back in like the Xbox 360 days, though, right? You need like Xbox Live.
Well, Nintendo did it in a bit of a more controversial way because the system didn't launch with it and multiplayer was free. And then games you were able to play for free online, you no longer could once they introduced Nintendo Switch Online. But anyway, this weekend is a Splatfest about the best, I guess, Easter critter or something. And it's between bunnies, chicks, and bears. Can you guess which one I'm going to pick?
I'm going to assume that you dig chicks, and I will be out. I would, if I was playing Splatoon, I'd be rocking the bears. Also, why are bears an Easter creature? I'm gonna guess that's the weird star or manta ray guy's pick.
I'm assuming that Mr. Grizz had something to do with it. But
Who?
you got to play Splatoon to find out about Mr.
Why
Grizz.
is there a sorry, Mr. Grizz?
I cannot
Sounds like some Gen X nonsense.
I cannot say much about Mr. Grizz without spoiling storyline beats.
That's fine.
But there is a mode in Splatoon that was introduced in Splatoon 2 called Salmon Run, where Inklings are employees of Mr. Grizz to defeat salmonids and bring their eggs to him.
I need this, and I'm good to go.
Okay, so last session I let things unfold rather organically. We were following the little tutorial missions that were displayed on screen, and I didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of what's going on or what we're doing, so I'm going to remedy that this session. However, my screen is going to be stuck in a menu while I do this. My dear friend, my companion, Mr. Not a Buttface.
Your willing victim?
My captive employee. Would you be a dear and go collect materials while
On it, boss.
while I go over this stuff? We could use berries. We could use bug parts from Blaumagier beetles, lightning bugs if you end up finding them. Make sure you have a shield or a bow and arrow.
I'm also going to take me some food, so just bear with me.
And, larvae are also good. But, more berries be good. There's a lot of stuff we can make with berries.
I'm going to go head over Berryward because I at least know where that is. And thank you also, kind viewers. Just know that Blau, being the good task mistress that she is, has put together a wonderful itinerary for this week. So we will be kept on track.
So the first thing I need to talk about is the premise of this game. And I'm not going to spoil story, since we've had very little of it so far. But the idea is there's 4 kids. They each have names. Not a Buttface is playing as Pete, who is kind of a nerd.
I'm Tiny Pete.
And I am playing as Willow, who is like the goth punk queen. The other 2 characters are Max and Hoops, which are both kind of jock type characters. Hoops more so. We have found ourselves shrunken in what appears to be somebody's backyard. It is not any of our backyards. Just to be clear on that. And we have amnesia, so we have no idea how we got here. Like, we know who we are, we just don't know what led to us being here, so it's not like total amnesia. Something happened to cause us to lose our memory of being shrunken down into this backyard.
Those aphids look like they have things to do and people to see.
And as we started out, we quickly gathered together supplies to make some equipment and stuff to survive on. And we found the spacer machine, which is that pad with the 3 things that were shooting the lasers at it. That appeared to be our key to getting big again. And when we attempted to use it, it short-circuited for some reason and blew open the door to the Oak Base laboratory, which is where we found Burgle, who appears to be Dr. Wendell Tully's assistant. Dr. Wendell Tully being apparently
Sorry, continue.
apparently the guy whose yard this is.
Oh, the guy that I gave the wrong voice to. Yeah. Whoops. Oops.
And we have not learned much about Dr. Wendell Tully yet. We know that he worked for a place called Ominent, and he had something to do with the development of this shrinking technology, and that he was doing experiments regarding it in his backyard here. And that's really about all we know. Besides that, Burgle was a short order cook robot that he developed and has changed into his acting science manager.
Oh, that's not happening.
And yeah, that's pretty much it for what we know about the premise so far. We have currently been sent to the laboratories out in the game to find Burgle's chips to help restore his memory, because the explosion that opened the laboratory wiped out his memory banks, or fried his chips, or whatever. So we have to go get the backups. Now, as for the general gameplay loop, after that tutorial basically the idea is going to be, we go to a lab, we get the Burgle chip, we bring it back to Burgle. That opens up new recipes for us to build stuff to help us get further in the game, as well as after we sleep, we will have a bit of story advancement after each of the 4 main Burgle chips. And then we get sent off to find another lab, and the process repeats until we have found all of the chips, and then Burgle will tell us how to get big again. Hopefully. So to start out with, we needed to gather materials. With no tools, all you can really do is pick up what's on the ground, which is stuff like pebblets, these little grass chunks that are plant fiber, sprigs. And there's a couple of things that we can make with that, and that's why we needed to make the crafting table that allowed us to make armor and weapons and tools. There are currently 3 tiers of equipment.
I mean, this is probably what bottled.
Not a Buttface did insist that I was trying to skip the tech tree. And I guess you could argue that I was, but I argue that I was not, and I was just ill-informed. I had tier 2 equipment last session when I died like 17 times to the ladybug.
It was 17 times exactly. I knew it. We've both used that number.
Red Ant armor is tier 2, ladybug is tier 2.
I did it!
The problem was I was using the tier 1 hammer instead of like the Red Ant club. The Red Ant club being the only tier 2 weapon we currently have access to. The reason for this is because the ladybug is actually weak to the type of damage that the hammer does, and the club does not do that type of damage. I thought the hammer would do more damage, and it just did not. So that was my fault. And the other fault is that not a Buttface just like refused to help me. But yeah, the level 1 armor would be like the acorn armor is your heavy armor. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, okay. The acorn armor is your Oh, I'm sorry. The red armor is actually tier 1. I guess I was skipping the tech tree. Whoops. Okay, acorn armor is your heavy armor.
Whoa!
Red ant armor is your light armor. There is also the clover armor, which I guess it's technically tier 1, but it is weaker than the red ant armor. So it's more like a 0.5 tier. I guess there is not a medium set for tier
While
1.
you're looking at stuff there, would you mind crafting a couple of arrows? I'm coming back. I need them.
Oh, sure. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
The medium armor for tier 1 is the grub set. Okay. So light, medium, and heavy. There is a trade-off there. The heavier your armor is, generally the less damage you're going to take per hit, but also the more stamina you consume per swing of your weapon. Where are the arrows? Okay, I crafted as many arrows as I could. They are in the gear chest.
Thank you. You're always such a pal. I just need them to knock down some berries. Did you see that I took down 2 whole Blaumagier beetles?
I had no idea how many you took down, but...
I took down 2! We beat the Burgle quest for taking down 2.
Oh, nice.
They were trying to gang up on me, and then I got to divide and conquer. I feel like the manliest Tiny Pete.
Did you by chance get 3 bombardier parts?
Do I have 3 I have more than 3 Bombardier parts. I have 6 Bombardier parts. So you can make 2 of whatever you wanted to make.
That would be what we need for the level 2 axe.
Can you get me one of thems?
Well, not quite.
No!
We also need 4 silk rope.
Where do you get silk rope from?
Well, you have to craft it, you see.
Okay, what do I need to craft it?
Well, first we need to complete the spinning wheel, which is going to require 4 clay, which you will need a shovel. It'll be
I have one of thems.
It'll be a reddish looking brick that you tend to find around water, which there just happens to be a lot of water around the berry bush. We only need 4 of it for now. We could definitely use more of it for other things.
Wasn't there a pond that I had to cross to get to the berry bush? Could I just, like, do that?
Yeah, there should be plenty of clay in there.
Yeah, okay.
And then the other thing is where to get the silk web from.
Yeah, what do I need the silk, like, where would that be?
Where do you think?
I don't know, the silk web store?
Or naive Buttface. Spiders.
Whoa!
So anyway, that covers equipment, really. We're trying to build up through the ranks, get to tier 3 armor, and then we can also come to the smithing station to upgrade our weapons and armor. I'm not really wanting to do it now because until we unlock a recipe, upgrade materials are finite. And a lot of the equipment we have right now is stuff that we won't have for long because it does quickly get replaced.
Upgrading our tiers is going to be a much bigger significance than trying to like juice the stats on individual pieces of armor anyways, right?
Yes.
So there's no sense in juicing it just yet.
I mean, if we come to an impassable brick wall when it comes to our equipment, then maybe we should. Because it's not like the materials to upgrade are so hard to come by that we'll just screw ourselves out of being able to upgrade our later equipment. But it's something that I wouldn't do unless we find ourselves needing to do it.
Bro is loud.
Until we get tier 3 equipment. Yeah, and I guess there's not really much point in talking about the upgrades until we actually start upgrading. So we'll leave it there. The the other thing we really need to talk about is what the goals are of this series. I plan to get a 100% completion, which at the end of the game we get rated. What that's going to entail is doing all the mandatory story beats. We also have to get all of the optional Burgle chips. We have to fight all of the super bosses. We have to peep every single creature in the yard. And we have to get their gold card, which is just something that is randomly dropped when you loot a corpse after having initially peeped a creature. There are a couple of exceptions to that. There are some bosses that can only be fought once, and as long as you peep them, you are guaranteed to get the gold card when you defeat them. And there is one other exception that I will talk about at a later time. There is one thing I do want to talk about now, and that is the
Those
crow.
aphids look like they have things to do and people to see.
Whenever it lands on something, it sounds like an explosion, but it's fine. And the crow, you might think, would attack you and try to eat you, but it does not. In fact, if you are ballsy enough to try and get up to the crow, you will find that the game treats it like a solid object. It's not something that you can harm, it's not something that can harm you, but it is something that has a hitbox that is awkward to move around. Yeah. There's also the milk maulers. We have seen that there are two varieties of milk maulers. They are used for upgrades. I'll talk about them when we actually collect a milk mauler and can see the menu. But for 100%, we have to collect all of the milk maulers, both the white ones and the gold ones. There are also themes for our Scabby, which is the little device on our wrists that shows us our water level and our hunger level and our health and our stamina. I think there's like 53 or something of those just somewhere throughout the yard. We have to collect all of those. And these things do get marked on the map when we collect them. That's actually something that was changed in 1.3.
Wait, are you done with your red ant armor here in this chest?
Yes. Have at it.
Can I have it? I think I might. It might be better than what I have. I'm not sure.
It is tier 1 light armor, so I don't know what you are currently equipped with.
I've just got the clover hood stuff.
Yes, it's better than Clover.
Yeah, so I'm going to
Keep me safe.
take my hand-me-downs, I guess.
I do not believe, and I could be wrong on this because I honestly don't know about the new stuff added to the game, but I do not believe that anything from New Game Plus is required to get the 100% rating. We'll find out when we get there.
Okay, I'm gonna go get more berries now.
The
Or
only
rather,
other
I can now go grab berries.
The only other thing I want to note about our goals is that there is a good ending and a bad ending, and we're going to show both. And we'll go over that later when it becomes
I am
more
known to
relevant.
get the bad ending for the lulls. I have definitely given Cirrus and Aknar their pages, and I will continue to do that.
We do need to do the bad ending first, though, because once you get the good ending, you do lock yourself out of the bad ending.
Yeah.
As I assume is typical in most games with good and bad endings.
Well, unless it's one of those, like, pick your flavor of ending sort of games. Would you like a ladybug dead? I think I can take a ladybug.
I mean, if you want ladybug armor. We do need more ladybug heads, I think, so.
All right, I'll see what I can do about this ladybug.
At least it's clean. Ish.
She might be mad.
Yeah, I guess that's about all I had to go over besides controls and combat. So, yeah, we move around with the left stick, move our camera if you're in third person with the right stick. I don't know what it does in first person because I don't like to play in first person.
It's so much more immersive.
We have a hotbar at the bottom. I'm only going to go over controller controls. I'm playing on an Xbox One X, and I'm using a controller. If Buttface wants to talk about the mouse and keyboard controls because he's playing on Steam, that is on him. If you can imagine the placement of the face buttons, then just imagine that for the PlayStation and the Switch controllers. For example, X is the left button on the Xbox. On Switch, that would be Y. On PlayStation, that would be square. So if I say X, I'm talking about the button on the left. Just, it should be the equivalent for the other systems. And yes, this game is now also available for the PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch. And I do believe crossplay is enabled for all systems that it's available on. It's definitely enabled for Xbox, Windows, and Steam versions of the game, though. As is evident by us playing it together right now. The right trigger is like our main action button. And the left trigger is like a secondary action button. Usually it's a little more context sensitive what it does. I have the canteen equipped right now, so the right trigger is like an attack. Like I'm trying to punch, because the canteen's not a weapon. And the left trigger will slurp whatever is in my canteen. Normally, the left trigger would be your block button. So if you have a shield, you just hold that to block attacks.
Gotcha.
The left trigger is also how you parry. You have to press, you have to tap the left trigger at the right time when an attack is incoming, and there is a mutation that makes that easier to do. I will talk about mutations in a minute.
He said the line!
For you that no one has ever said that, Peter.
What line are you talking about?
The Hobgoblin of Little Mites, which is it's a famous quote that he's butchering.
Lost my train of thoughts here. The left trigger, the left bumper. Sorry, the left bumper brings up our hot pouch wheel, which we can use the left and right triggers to switch between the three pouches. It's our hot bars. You use the right stick to. Yeah, you can still move while you have this up with the left stick, but you use the right stick to select something, and the A button to confirm it. And that will just automatically equip it or use it or whatever it may be. The right... let me equip Spirit. The right bumper will throw what you have equipped if it's something that can be thrown. The canteen actually is not something that can be thrown. Which I guess is probably a good thing.
I found a field station. Would I be able to pause you there as I do a recording and or reading?